React to this person making a... Oh, is it the video that I posted on Twitter that got me banned? I'm pretty sure this woman reported me and got me banned. I should have deleted this as soon as I realized. Yeah, this woman, she's like a... Comments are still turned off. I didn't want that. Content warning, stalking, harassment, transphobia, homophobia, racism, anti-Semitism, suicide, Islamophobia, and various offensive slurs. Now, I can't sit through all of this because it's 30 minutes long and it's really shitty. And the audio is just terrible, but I will sit through a couple minutes of it.
Beware, viewers, for you are about to see a different side of this girl of 19. There is no need to know who I am. I will say that my name is Kaku-chan. Flowergothic seems like an SJ.
Okay, so as we've established already, this woman is immensely autistic. She's like one of those. She's like a modern day equivalent of this. Hold up, I'm gonna throw everyone a flash from the past.
Hi, me is Rita Chantes. I love all kinds of Japan and anime. I love going to anime conventions and meeting all my new super kawaii friends just like me. See you there.
Actually, this video is better. We'll sit through this one a bit. If for some reason you're so new to the internet you don't recognize this already and you're just listening, it has been 15 years since this video was put out, like in 2006. I still cannot tell if it was a man or a woman, and I cannot tell if it's irony or not. Here's the best line. Here's the best part.
Ohio! Such a kawaii morning. Such a kawaii morning.
It has been literally 15 years, and sometimes I still think of this line, and I tell people, "Such a kawaii morning" as I wake up. It's perfectly mimetic. It's stuck in my head. Anyways, back to this, which is much worse.
But there are things she hasn't told you. Call-ups, plagiarism.
If you're listening to this, by the way, you can't really appreciate the spastic hand flailing that's going on. It's definitely some kind of stimming.
Galore. Let me show you the truth of this whore.
She's like showing her screen. It's like a PowerPoint presentation. Due to the lack of objective articles on the history of Kiwi Farms and its users, some details may be inaccurate. I apologize in advance if I say anything wrong. At least that's honest. Oh god. Okay, so how do I describe her? She said she's 19. She looks like she's 24. She looks like a gothic girl from high school that's overdeveloped, and she's wearing a fedora. And I think her hair, it's terrible. Why is she like filming her screen?
I have seen many problematic things in my life, dear viewer. I have scoured the Sonichu wiki and witnessed Christine Weston.
So she's obviously like super. It's weird. Women don't usually get autism. Like men are way more autistic than women. I don't know why. It must have something to do with like the masculinization of the fetus or something that causes autism. Because women don't get it as bad. But when they do, it's kind of like quirky autism, and it's not like hideous, stinky autism like men get.
Chandler's plummet to insanity. I've explored the dark, rationalist side of YouTube. I've even learned what resulted in Amanda Todd's suicide so long ago. But
she's like reading. You can literally hear the paper crinkling in her hands as she's reading off a script in front of what looks like her mom's bedsheet hung up on a wall.
There is one corner of the internet few dare to go to. One where the worst of people is exposed to achieve some sick, twisted form of entertainment.
She really reminds me of Chris. And doesn't this remind you of like really old-timey Chris standing in front of his webcam in his bedroom, like with his hands flailing, and say, "This is the worst kind of offense. You take that ED page down now." It reminds me of that. I wish she would make more videos. She's too self-aware, though. She already locked down everything.
That corner is the forum, the shitbag quarantine, Kiwi Farms.
I don't think it's a tranny.
Kiwi Farms is a forum where those young or old, left or right, black or white, but mostly young, cis, straight white men from what I've seen, can keep track of.
Yeah, that's her. That's literally her right now. She's playing the clip I was just referencing.
Lol cows all around the internet. What is a lol cow? The official definition is a person you get extensive laughs from who doesn't know they are being made fun of. From what I've seen,
That's not true.
that's what these farmers down at Kiwi County do, milking these cows for their entertainment.
See, I can't play too much of it because the audio was just so fucking bad. She was hitting the ceiling on her mic constantly, which is why it pops like that.
It's fun for the whole family. You can partake in it if you follow these simple rules. 1. Have common courtesy. 2. Handle problems like an adult. 3. Don't post for attention. 4. Don't gimmick post or posting with an annoying personality. 5. Don't sock puppet. 6. Don't plead for...
You're on the mic. You're recording your voiceover. If you stutter while recording your voiceover, like I just did, I'm doing it live though, you can literally just delete that and go back over it and say it again. If you really gave a shit.
For sympathy. So, what exactly is this milk the forum users want? Well, it seems as though its users thrive off of their victims partaking in embarrassing activities. These can range from incredibly compromising photos.
Who the fuck is that?
In embarrassing activities. These can range from incredibly compromising.
What the fuck is that? Where did she find this? What the fuck am I looking at? Why did she post this?
Photos to left-leaning content they don't like.
Oh, Aaron. Okay, I don't know who that is. Ow.
Is over $350,000 for a quote-unquote charity called Mermaids UK, which brainwashes children to undergo gender reassignment surgery. He did this by streaming Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, see, it's like that. It's really fucking grating. I didn't watch through all of it because the voice quality is just so terrible. What's this? I'll skip to some part. We'll pick up there. Just skipped in the middle. 1303, perfect.
13? I was an edgy person then, eating junk food whenever I could and saying that SJWs are garbage or something. I don't recall much of how I was at that age, to be frank.
Guys, Flowergothic, and today I'm going to be doing Legend of the Titanic, the English version. Yes, it exists.
What the fuck is she talking about?
It's rather
Oh my god, what is happening?
Is acting like how I was as a preteen, huh?
Number 4, all the world's a stage. This is the Shakespeare quote. Sorry, a Shakespeare quote. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts.
I guess I just do not understand.
What the fuck is happening?
I have a confession to make. I've spent a few months lurking on the farms, watching their conversations and actions.
She's doing research. I wonder how many of the daily people who log in and read the forum like are in their heads justifying it by saying that they're only doing research. It must be like a significant proportion. I'm gonna guess like 100 people a day log in every single day and read like their haunts just like everyone else, but they say they're doing it for research. It has to be like something like that. I think she's trying to be like a Plinkett or something, or like a down the rabbit hole, but she's like terrible.
Next. And one thing that scares me is how good of a stalker the forum can be. Take one of my favorite YouTubers, ContraPoints, for example.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know the surrounding her, but we're going to put this aside for the sake of this video as they're irrelevant in this context. They found her pre-transition name, her old YouTube channel, her address, or at least the one as of 2017, and her personal Facebook. Granted, some of these would wouldn't be too hard to find if you look deeply enough in public
Deeply?
records, but it's still incredibly creepy.
Well, for a plot device, the producers demanded that my mom move to here in Albuquerque, so...
What the fuck? What is this? Is this her?
The producers demanded that my mom move to here in Albuquerque, so...
But they also drag old controversies, old career...
Oh, she's saying that it's not too hard to find an address because people are sloppy and shitty with their personal information. Because that was like a clip of her from a different video where she's giving out her address, or her mother's address. I think that's what she's going for. You see, this is like video editing to the eyes of someone who's heavily autistic.
Purity material out of the depths of hell to try and expose people of their sins. In some cases, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. For example, they've called out known white supremacist and potential Bond villain Richard Spencer. That's nice, although they do use...
You know who she reminds me of? Hold up, I have to pull this up. I don't know her name. Fuck. It was Mike's from, oh, here. Perfect. This woman, Mike's old girlfriend from Red Letter Media. She looks a lot like her, except like with black hair and less fat and kind of younger. But she's got like the same kind of face going on. Do you see it? Do you see it, chat? Because I can see it. This is what I can think of.
Some not so good words to describe the people around him. But they also...
Oh, I think I'm done with this. I'll skip to like the last 2 minutes. Let's see. 30 minutes, 27. Let's do 27. Let's see. How does she sum this up? Sum it up for me in a nutshell, lady. I ain't got all day.
Trans people and don't consider them real human beings.
Oh.
Years ago, that could be used against me on Kiwi Farms. They'd call me a hypocrite and not truly bisexual, just as they consider trans people and don't consider them real human beings. And I wouldn't be an isolated incident. Several people...
Why are all autistic people like sexual degenerates? Why is there no such thing as someone who is both straight and autistic? I think homosexuality is a symptom of autism, and that's why they're so socially abnormal as well. You know what I mean? I think I'm onto something. I want to hear a Japanese sociologist's opinion on the link between autism and sexology, and why we need to finally cure autism to rid our society of these ills.
Have Kiwi Farms pages are considered hypocrites due to things they did or said long ago. So let me tell you this. People change. People aren't the same as they were 10, even 5 years ago. I'm sure not. People learn more about themselves every day, so why hold maniacal things against them? Note, I said maniacal. If they committed a serious crime or worked to limit human rights, they should obviously be held accountable. But
if they committed a serious crime or worked to hinder human rights. So if you say that gay people shouldn't get married, then it doesn't matter if it's been 50 years and you've cut off your right hand to apologize. You should still be held accountable for it.
My post from 2008? Really?
Now the world knows all your sins against me. You will never win.
Actually, I'm kind of okay with that.
What do you mean that you're okay? Aren't you saddened by me?
No, I am not letting you take over this video. I am not going to give you power over
She's
me.
talking to herself.
I know I can't change your mind, so I'm not going to try. And if you want to mock me for mistakes I've made and people have heard wrong the way, go for it. I regret my past. I really do. I wouldn't do over half the things I did if I could go back in time. But hindsight is 20/20, and I thought what I was doing was just fine at the time.
What the fuck?
Everyone thinks that way about their own mistakes. I'm sure you have your skeletons that you don't want revealed. And you know what? You're probably scared. You hide yourself from the world to avoid the cannibalization Kiwi Farms does. The mask gives you the freedom to do and say whatever you want, huh?
I bet she okay, I don't know. I don't want to sexualize autistic people because I might get in trouble. But I'm just saying. I don't know. It's like, I guess her argument is that people have the right to be forgotten. I don't believe in that. like I have all this shit that people love to throw at me from like literally 14, 13 years ago, and I don't know, it doesn't get to me. It doesn't, and people don't tend to hold it against me. So I think that I think people greatly overestimate how much that. But then again, I don't know. I don't live a normal life. I think that a lot of people are afraid because everyone is kind of like a fuck up, right? But the problem is, in contemporary times, your personal life and professional life never separate. Your entire life is now in service to your professional career, especially on the internet. People search who you are, and they find things that they don't like. Then you're in trouble for it. You're on the hook for it. I don't have to worry about that. I just have to win public opinion in the areas where it matters, right? But for most people, if you are, if you have drama, even if it's like inconsequential drama, even if it's just like your name on the thread, it still does damage to your professional reputation, because any kind of stuff like that is a red flag to employers. And that's the shit that people should really want to change. Like, why is it that now all of us have to put on this facade of professionality all the time? Nobody is allowed to take off their mask and be like a normal person anymore, because if you fuck up, it'll haunt you in your career for the rest of your life. So everyone all the time has to act a specific way that is conflating with business interests for companies they don't even have a relationship with yet, because those companies are afraid of potential embarrassment down the road, because the outrage mob is all powerful. If anyone gets nasty emails, if anyone gets a complaint about someone, they get spooked and they drop you immediately. And that is a serious societal problem that is going to cause significant issues in the future, because there's going to become a time, as privacy lessons and people are getting on the internet younger and younger, that everyone's going to have dirt on them. Either everyone's going to have dirt on them, or the governments of the world are going to legislate the internet in such a way that you can't have dirt floating around on the internet. Shit like the Kiwi Farms Encyclopedia Dramatica are going to be criminalized, and only certified repositories of personal information like the ADL are going to be allowed to exist, I don't know, maybe the companies of people growing up this era, like the people who are my age, turning 30, going into their 40s just now, are going to be the ones who are operating companies soon. And maybe they won't give a fuck the way that companies by people who are older than us in their 50s right now do care about. Because it can't, like, this cannot continue. This whole thing about... Because I don't know. I don't know how to sum up my feelings about this, because it is strange. I feel bad for normies. Because my favorite thing is like the Pajeets in India, who have like this really squeaky clean public image of themselves in suits, and they put it up their LinkedIn and they try to bloat it with all this bullshit. And they have like such a meticulously crafted public image that any tarnish at all could destroy entirely. It's like everyone focuses so hard on making themselves look so good on the internet, and because it's super important. It's super important to getting hired, and that has to change at some point. We're gonna have to come to the realization that we as a species are ugly, stinky monkeys that like to put our peepees in weird things and say retarded shit all the fucking time. And we're either going to have to come to that realization and then enforce laws that clean up public perception of people, or we're going to have to come to that realization and just deal with the fact that your employees are a bunch of sick fucking freaks into weird shit, and let that be its own thing that doesn't interfere with your business, regardless of how people complain about it. Because right now it's just weird, and the value of labor is so low that companies have the freedom to be picky about who they hire. If you're a potential liability to their company and their company's image, they just don't have to give a shit.